How's it going, guys? Welcome to Tuesday's video. I have kind of a meh length video. You know, it's long enough to cater to the shorter attention spans. It's short enough and just interesting enough in general to just be like, wow, you know, that was a good game for Tuesday. So I felt like it had the Tuesday vibe to it, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, I got a, I suppose standard. I was really just saying standard just because I had to deal with standard. Mainly because of Sun. You know, if I could use Vulpix and UU to get the weather up, I would. But in reality, the majority of my OUs on this team are really just to play support. I mean, I could easily find UU roles for them if Sun was allowed in UU, but it's not, so I gotta deal with some standard threats. My opponent was kind of like, you know what, I see what you're doing there, because they were watching my stream the entire time. You know, I'll bring a UU team. I have no idea why they did, but it enabled me to have a lot more fun time with this match, as you'll be able to see. So, he leads off with Rotom and decides to Volt Switch out to Suicune. I do predict this and go for the Energy Ball. I have the Energy Ball over the Solar Beam in case I just ever decide to use this thing in Standard, and a Politoed comes in, and then I end up being trapped on Solar Beam. That just would not benefit me. Or if a T-Tar comes in, it gets the extra turn to you know, because Solar Beam is no longer one turn, it turns to 2 turns. They can take me out with an Earthquake if they're, or a Stone Edge, or whatever the case, if they happen to be Scarfed. So, now that we're kind of, you know, back on track here with the Suicune, I switch in my Deoxys, hopefully to get some hazards up. I do have Stealth Rocks and Spikes on this guy, so I go for the Taunt because I don't have any phasers. I don't want the Suicune setting up any more than it needs to. And look at how much that Hydro Pump does in the Sun. I'm just like, ow, son of a bitch. This is a more offensive one. You know, it doesn't have EVs in defense where I would normally expect them. In fact, you know, Life Orb just kind of confirms that it's an offensive one. So I'm going to go to my Espeon after only setting up the Stealth Rocks. Kind of a mistake, as I'm thinking about later. I should have just set up one layer of Spikes instead. You'll see why in a little bit, but he misses the Hydro Pump, which is like, whoa, you were faster. And then I was like, oh, wait, I don't have any speed investment on this thing. And I think I'm actually just, I'm just a really, really bulky build. But sets up another Calm Mind as I go for Psychic. Does close to nothing. And I'm really scared of the rest right now. But it turns out he doesn't have it, or he just didn't go for it, which is, it kind of works for me because it lets me set up the Reflect now. And I do have the Morning Sun on this set, so I'm not really, you know, too worried about getting low on health, especially at this point since I am running a bulkier set. But in comes Registeel. Now what I'm going to do is I do predict the Stealth Rock or the T-Wave, so I'm going to stay in here, go for the Morning Sun, get back up to full, and ensure that he cannot do anything for that one turn. If he does anything, it'll be bounced back on himself thanks to the Magic Bounce. So I already have my Rocks up, which is kind of why I said if I got one layer of Spikes up and then I got the Registeel's Rocks bounced back, I would have more hazards up. But that's just kind of, you know, a little bit of an oversight. We're kind of splitting hairs at this point. I don't really mind. Anyways, I go into Flygon right now, predicting the T-Wave or the Stealth Rocks again, you know, just something that won't really hurt me too bad since I do have the screens up. I'm working pretty good. And in comes Raikou. Now, I don't know how fast Raikou is with a Rash nature off the top of my head. I say Rash because the shiny GameStop one with Aura Sphere can only be a Rash nature. It is not a positive nature. And that is an adamant Flygon for a reason, a non-choice one. You'll see the set later. But the point is I'm pretty damn sure I'm still slower than Raikou. So I want to switch into Infernape because I know that if the screens are up, if I predict correctly on the Hidden Power Ice, which I think would have happened, I'll be able to take it really well. If he goes for the T-Bolt, I'll be able to take it reasonably well thanks to the screens. I'm not really hoping for a miracle, but if I can live, then great. So he's going to go into Rotom now after I die, and this Rotom is just getting a lot of, you know, revenge kills. I don't really mind, because it A, gives me Switch Initiative, and B, you know, gives him more Rocks damage as he comes in. So he's only allowed to do this like 4 more times, and that's not to say that he'll get, you know, KOs with any of those. But he goes into Mew, and I'm thinking that Mew might be a slower build because I've been fighting a lot more defensive ones. It's rare for me to be fighting offensive ones now. But I'm actually surprised because he's running a physical one, and my Reflect is actually still up since, you know, I delayed the turn, how many turns it was, I delayed how late I got it set up because I went for the Psychic on the turn before it. And because of that, I take that Sucker Punch really well. I'm able to go for an Overheat and take out the Mew, which, you know, Sucker Punch on a Mew is kind of odd, but it is a set, so it's a legitimate set. Anyways, he goes for a Volt Switch right now. Now, I don't really care about this Ninetales, to be honest. If it was a Vulpix, you know, fuck. That I really wouldn't care. But goes for the full switch, gets another, you know, KO right there, and once again, really not caring that my standard pokes are gone at this point. But in comes Tangrowth. Now, as much as I really want to bring Cherrim in right now, I'm still doubting as to whether or not I'm faster than this thing for some reason, because I was like, is he running? I don't even know. I was like, you know what? The safer thing to do is going to be to go to Espeon and set up the screens, because I have Magic Bounce, and I was like, you know what? If he tries to sleep something, then it won't work out. If he tries to go for the, you know, the Leech Seed, it won't work out. I have two things on this team that, you know, are immune to Leech Seed, so I figure I might as well just start setting up screens now. And I was like, maybe I'll set up the light screen first, because he's probably got the Giga Drain or whatever, but he shows me a physical set, which is like, you know, kind of a meh prediction right there. But I do have the Morning Sun. It just means I got to spend one more turn, you know, staying in here, recovering, and then getting out of here. So not that big a deal. I've lost a little bit of screens turns, but Light Clay kind of compensates for it. Now, here's the important part of the game that really just puts things into like second, third gear, whatever you fucking have on your car in order to go really fast. Fourth. You want to call it fourth? Okay. He gets a crit through the screens. Now, this lets me bring in Cherrim safely with a hell of a lot more screen turns. Now, in case you have not been filled in on Cherrim, a lot of people haven't. It's a 4th gen poke, and when it transforms in the sun, its ability, you know, gives it that transformation, and it also gives it a Calm Mind, essentially, a +1/+1 on Spec Attack and Spec D. I think that's how it is, just like that. So a Weather Ball in the sun actually turns out to be a fire type, and because Tangrowth does not have the best Spec D, Cherrim is actually able to prey on something a little bit slower than it and take it out. So, wonderful. Cherrim got some use. Now, the thing is that Flygon's going to steal the show here for a little bit. Because screens are up, I do not want my Cherrim taking a hit, and because the screens are up, I take this Overheat very, very well. I know this thing is a Scarf Rotom, so he's either going to A, switch right here, or he's going to B, keep going for it for some reason, probably fishing for a crit or something. I really don't know. But he keeps going for it, and I'm like, whatever, do what you want, because I am a Hone Claws Dual Stab Roost set. In the, like, 2 or 3 times I've actually used this, it works out really good, despite the lack of coverage. And, you know, it's got lefties just to help out a little bit with the recovery while you're getting those Hone Claws up. But Hone Claws boosts, you know, attack and accuracy. It's really just there just to boost the attack, since Flygon did not get Dragon Dance or Swords Dance, which is a huge, huge slap in the face. I really wish Game Freak got it right on that one and at least gave it Dragon Dance, because I happen to think Flygon is one of the coolest looking dragons out there, but they didn't really give it anything. So he finally decides to switch out after X amount of time. I knew I did not want to attack until this Registeel came in, because, you know, if I mispredict on the Rotom, I really do not care either way, because that means he'll either hit me with a Hidden Power Ice or a Trick, in which case I can just lock myself in an Outrage, and then Cherrim can come in immediately after and go for the Weather Ball. It's just a series of plays where I feel relatively safe in going for the Hone Claws until he gets out and gives me the 1 turn I need to go for an offensive move. So I'm going to go for the Earthquake, and that does take him out at like +3 or something. He also has Hidden Power on his own set, which I was kind of curious. I was like, you know what, go for it. If it's Ice, this gives me a safe switch into Cherrim, and then we'll see some more action, because I'm pretty sure Cherrim can take a Hidden Power Ice. But he goes for the Hidden Power. It unfortunately turns out to be a neutral one, which I'm trying to think of what it could be, and it's like Grass is the only other thing that comes to mind that might be mildly conventional. But that actually turns out to be the game. Cherrim got 1 kill. That's 1 more than I expected. And it's got this little slap together team that I was like, you know what? It had some support. It kind of worked out. I'm okay with this. So if you guys enjoyed it too, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I have a lot of videos I will be making today. A lot. Like today is just going to be video making for the rest of the week, so I don't have to make videos for the rest of the week. I figure that's probably easiest. You know, just record the non-picture in picture ones today, and then I can just release them as I see fit. So that'll do it out of me. I'm going to be a busy person later today and such. I have been considering streaming really early in the morning on Thursday, since I kind of got some stuff to do later in the afternoon on Thursday. But other than that, that's really just going to be the highlight of the week out of my channel. And I will see you guys later.